So hello once again. So glad to be able to come to you all again. Had such great comments last night and so appreciative of that. If somebody could give me a little sign that you're okay, I already see it. Great, awesome. Just wanted to make sure that I've done this right. I'm still very new to this, so bear with me. But we had such great support of this last night, and I'm just so very grateful and thankful to God. I teach several classes, and I love every one of them and everyone who attends, but the Christian yoga classes hold a place that's dear to my heart. So on Tuesday night, normally at my church at Tabernacle in Pocosin, I'm so thankful to my church to allow us to do this. And then of course Water's Edge Church asked me almost 2 years ago now, hard to believe. So I've met some wonderful friends there as well. Really the only difference if you've come to my classes and the Christian yoga class and the regular classes, the other classes, is just that I do a devotion and a prayer at the beginning and try to read the Bible verse throughout. But I do feel like God blesses those classes. So I hope that you'll be blessed with this class tonight. As always, I've asked him to please give me the words. And it's funny because last night, as God always does, I said, God, what do you want me to say? What message do you want me to bring across tonight? And I heard that still small voice that said, talk about gratefulness. Talk about Jesus' story in Luke 17:11 through 19, where he talked about expressing gratitude. And I immediately said, God, I've already done that one. We've done that one. We've talked about that in that Christian yoga class at Tabernacle. And so I went on with my night, and as I got ready to go to bed, I happened to look at one of the apps that I have on my iPad. Andy Stanley, who's a great pastor out in Atlanta, and I love to listen to his sermons. And the first one I came on, what was it talking about? But this very story. And I said, okay, God, I understand now. There's somebody out there that needs to know about how important it is to express gratitude. So I posted earlier that we would be talking about Luke 17:11 through 19. I don't know if you had a chance to read that, but it's basically a story about when Jesus healed 10 men with leprosy. And Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem. And as he was walking along the way, he passed by a village, and he passed 10 men who were suffering, agonizing with leprosy. And I thought about it tonight, how awesome that God connects everything, because these people with leprosy, they were distanced from the community. They experienced social distancing, just what we're going through right now. And even worse, because they were agonizing, they were suffering in physical pain, as well as being distanced and shunned. And so very uncharacteristic of Jesus, and oftentimes when he goes and heals people, he would go right up to them no matter what they had, and he'd touch them and be up close and personal. But this time, when they yelled out to him, when they saw him and they said, Jesus, Master, have pity on us. And he looked up at them and he said, go and show yourselves to the priest. Now back in these times, people who were afflicted like this, or who had especially contagious diseases and who were shunned, once they were healed, they had to go to the priest for it to be cleared for them to come back into the community. And so he was telling them, go show yourselves to the priest. He was pretty much declaring, I'm going to heal you. So somewhere along the way, these 10 men going to the priest were healed. We don't know how long that was. Scripture just tells us that somewhere along the way, they were healed. But out of those 10 men that were healed, only one of them came back. As soon as he recognized that he was healed, that leprosy was gone, he went back and he praised God and thanked him, and he fell at Jesus' feet. And he thanked him over and over again. He was a Samaritan, but he was showing and expressing gratitude and thankfulness. And Jesus, in the wonderful way that he always does, made such a great point. He looked at the man and he said, were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Where are the other 9? So tonight, I just really felt like God was placing it on my heart to talk to you and to me about how all of us have people in our lives Maybe it's a parent, maybe it's grandparents, maybe it's brothers, sisters, spouses. Someone in your life has helped you along the way. Someone in your life you have been very grateful for. Have you expressed that gratitude? Because you know that completes the circle. We can be grateful all we want, but it doesn't complete the circle until we express it. Those of us who have children, or maybe even nephews and nieces, any children in our life, maybe we're teachers. How many times has a child gone to take something that's been offered to them, a gift, and we say, wait a minute, what do you say? What do you say? Of course, we're having them to complete that circle, to give thanks, because gratefulness is not true gratefulness. You haven't completed that circle unless you've expressed it. So that's what God was getting across to us in this story. And I thought maybe tonight we could make this a practice of gratefulness. It could be a grateful practice tonight. We're grateful to be here. Even though we're experiencing social distance ourselves, with classes being a little bit different, I am so grateful to reach out. There were so many people last night online, so many more than I could have ever reached in person. So God is using this, and I am just so grateful to Him. So as you go through this practice tonight, I want you to think about those that you are grateful for. And maybe think about ways that you can reach out after you finish and complete this practice tonight. Maybe you can go and express that gratitude. So if you'll come with me in prayer as we start our practice tonight. Heavenly Father, thank you for letting us have this time together. Lord, I ask that you use this time and that you reach out and touch someone, that hopefully you have used me and that I've used the right words that you wanted me to express, and that someone out there, their heart has been touched. Maybe it's someone that knows that there's someone in their life they need to express gratitude to. So Lord, help us all to have that on our heart, and help us to remember as we go forth to not only be grateful but to express it, to let people know how much we love them and how much we care for them and how grateful we are that they are in our lives. And help us to do that with you. Help us not to forget when we ask you for something and you answer that prayer. Maybe it's not in the way we would wish, but you always answer prayer. So help us to not to forget to say thank you, God, for answering that prayer. So Lord, we ask that you be with us tonight and that you keep us safe in this practice. Help us to pay attention to our bodies and not to push them to a point of strain or pain, but to be grateful to be here and to just make these bodies stronger, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so that we can go out and provide the service that you need us to provide. We ask all these things in your precious name. Amen. So come to that quiet few moments where you can just be still, and maybe starting this practice, this grateful practice, maybe just be still and think about the things you are grateful for. Think about how you can go forth from this practice and express gratitude. Take your next deep breath in. Allow your face to climb skyward if it's available to you. Feel that stretch in the anterior portion of the throat. Allow your face to totally relax. Lines in your forehead released. Muscles around the eyes soften. Any clenching, any tightness, any tension in the cheek, the chin, the jaw, around the teeth, all of that is just released. You lose all expression and you find rest. You find relaxation in your face, in your neck, into the shoulders. Take another deep breath in, and as you breathe out, allow the chin to float down to the chest now. Feel the stretch in the posterior portion of the neck. Remember, this bend is in the neck, so we say long and tall in the body. Bend through the neck and allow the chin to come down into the chest. And then start to allow the chin to float across the chest from right to left, noticing the heaviness of the head as the chin passes over the center of the chest here. Maybe staying here in that half moon sway, maybe starting to come full circle if that feels good to you. With every crook and turn in this motion, feeling it pulling away, tightness, tension, stress, fatigue, all those things that we hold in the shoulders and the neck. Move in the opposite direction now if that's good for you. The next time the chin passes over the right collarbone, let it reside there. Breathe. Remember, the breath is a God-given gift. Don't leave it. Let it flow. Let it guide you through your practice. Be grateful for your breath. Lift the chin up as if gazing over to the right of the room. Remember, this, like all other postures, can be as gentle or as increased as you need it to be. Allow the face to float over to the left now, stretching through the right side of the neck. Draw the chin now down into the left collarbone. Breathe. And then allow the chin to drop back down into the chest. Lift the head up, bring the hands to heart center. Set your intention. Set your intention for the class. Remember, it doesn't have to be just for this practice, but from here on out, to be grateful, to have that attitude of gratitude. We know that when we have thoughts of gratefulness and appreciation, that a negative thought cannot reside at the same time in the mind. So let's have that attitude of gratitude. Let this be your grateful practice. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, let go. Let go of all that stuff you drug in here tonight. You don't need it. Let go of it. Start to feel free and light, and enjoy this time. It's yours. You deserve it. Bring the arms skyward, reaching with fingers, softening through shoulders. So remember, we never need to strain, just to stretch. So I'm reaching, stretching, feeling the core drawing back, relaxing the knees and hips. And then I keep my hips forward as I gently twist to the right, bringing my right arm behind me. My left arm perches onto my right knee. I encourage my right shoulder back. Breathe. This is your Ardha Matsyendrasana, your half spinal twist. So remember, we kept the hips facing the front to protect that lumbar spine. We twist from the upper thoracic spine up. We're stretching that pectoralis minor that connects our shoulder to our rib cage. So we draw that shoulder back, but never to a point of pain or strain. Now come back up. Same thing to the opposite side. Coming to the left now. Relaxing through the knee. Drawing that left shoulder back now. Breathe. So this is excellent for indigestion. So if you're ever suffering from indigestion, this is usually immediate relief. Remember, we're not just twisting and helping the skeletal system here, but you're actually helping the digestive system as well. So as we go through this practice, you'll be doing a lot for the inside of the body. Okay, come back out. Now take your right foot and bring it over to the left knee. So it's your right leg over top of your left. Now maybe I stay right here. I can already start to feel a stretch here in my outer thigh. But if I can, and I want to come a little further, I'm going to tilt forward enough to draw that right foot back and stack one knee on top of the other. Now again, maybe this is good for you, maybe this is not. So if you start to move into it and you don't like it, just bring that foot back up. Always modify. Take what you need and leave the rest behind throughout this entire practice. Should feel a good stretch here around the outer thighs. Coming to the opposite side now, I lean forward and I take my right leg and I go behind my left. And now I take my left foot and I bring it up to the right knee. Again, I can stay right here, Or I can come a little further, coming forward, drawing that left leg back. One knee on top of the other. Nice. And then I release. And I find my way to look like a table. So my hands are underneath my shoulders, my knees are underneath my hips. And again, we talked about this last night. Really great to have this weight bearing. And I did have somebody say last night, and I meant to emphasize this. If you have wrist issues and it bothers you to be on your hands and putting weight into your hands, make a fist. See if that helps you. Or you can always try to come to your forearms. So you modify the way that's best for your body. As I lift my heart here and press the navel to the floor, I come into my cow pose. And then the opposite. I lift through the back, rounding through the back, tightening, contracting through the core, drawing it up. Relax through your head and neck. Then start to flow. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Last time. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Remembering our Bible verse tonight, Luke 4:17-19. Rise and go. Your faith has made you well. Ease your sit bones back onto your heels. Stretch your arms way in front of you. This is your child's pose. Remember, we talked about this last night. This is a place that we honor the body. So if at any time you need to come here, come here. This is your place to rest. Child's pose. From your child's pose is a great place to come up, curl through your toes, push into your balls of your feet, lifting the hips up, pressing the heels down, lengthening through the legs, pushing into the hands, relaxing your head down. You came into your downward facing dog. Now you're pressing your heels towards the mat, whether they make it there or not, it doesn't matter. They're just pressed towards the floor. Downward facing dog. Bend through your knees and drive your knees towards the floor. Push against the balls of the feet. Breathe. You should feel this down the center of the gluteus. Your head and neck is relaxed. And then lift back. Lengthen through the legs. Press the heels down. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Again, bend through your knees. Push against the balls of your feet. Create that tension. We talked about this last night. Paying attention to tension. Lift the hips back up. Press the heels back down. Downward facing dog. Now flow forward to your plank. So as you come into your plank here, I want you to tilt through your pelvic area, tighten through your core, try to level out through the body. Your hands are directly under your shoulders. You can always set your knees down, crisscrossing through your feet. Plank. And then lifting the heart, allowing the legs to float down to the floor. If you like, a bend in the back, coming into your king cobra. Squeeze through the gluteus to protect your lower back. We're trying to make sure we don't hyperextend that back. King cobra. Curl through your toes. Push back to your plank. Lift back. Your downward facing dog. Flow with me again. Come to your plank. Lift your king cobra. Draw back your plank. And lift. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. From your down dog, walk your feet up to your hands. Your Uttanasana, forward fold. Forward fold. So I'm allowing my upper body to fold over my lower body. So my core is tight, and I relax my head and let it dangle. I'm working against my upper body weight. And my upper body weight is allowing the lower body to stretch. So I'm getting a great stretch, wrapping around the gluteus all the way down the hamstrings. My core is tight, my head and neck relaxed. Uttanasana. Your slow reverse swan dive brings you up. Hands to heart center. I'm going to adjust my mat real quick so I don't bump into my wall. Okay, pay attention to your breath here, a little bit deeper breaths. Make this a grateful flow. Deep breath in. And breathe out. Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathe in. Your hands to your shins, Ardha Uttanasana. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in to your downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Breathe out to your plank, half or full. Breathe in your king cobra. Breathe out, back to your plank, tight core. Breathe in your downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Breathe out to your Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathe in your slow reverse swan dive. Breathe out, hands to heart center. Now, if you've been to my Christian yoga classes, you know that I've told many that this is a great flow to put to a Bible verse or a mantra, and I'm going to show you with one of my favorite Bible verses. Inhale, be still. Exhaling, forward fold, and no. Inhale, your hands to your shins, that eye. Exhale, back down, and God. Inhale, your down dog, be still. Exhale to your plank, and no. Inhale, king cobra, that eye. Exhale to your plank, and God. Inhale, be still, down dog. Exhale to your forward fold, and no. Inhale, your slow reverse swan dive, that eye. Exhale, hands to heart center, and God. So, our Bible verse, Luke 17:19, rise and go. Your faith has made you well. Think about the devotion. Think about the story. Do you want to be one of the 9? Or do you want to be the one? The one that always truly expresses that gratitude. So I know you're grateful for squats. I know that everyone that comes to class would hate if we missed them, right? So as we talked about last night, Uttanasana, it's a chair pose, just like I'm sitting into a chair. So we know that we shift the buttocks back, we shift the weight towards the heels, we can wiggle the toes. I want to try to really press that buttocks down to the point where I feel like I'm going to tip backwards. And I'll level out so that I through the legs so that I feel the quadriceps work here and the gluteus engage. My core is tight, my heart is lifted. Maybe I can rest my left hand down, my right arm up, coming into my seated twist. Still pressing the buttocks back and down, not leaning forward, keeping the knees on top of the feet. And then I come back, chair pose, Uttanasana. Same thing on the opposite side now. I'm dropping my right arm down, I'm lifting my left arm up, my core is tight, pressing through the buttocks. Modify as you need, but try to challenge if you can. And back. Nice. Now I want you to lift up. Press the buttocks down. And as if you're holding a glass ball, something that you treasure, I want you to set it down onto the mat. Press it down. And then lift it back up. Now, I'm keeping the buttocks back and down. My knees are over top of my knees. My knees are over top of my feet. I'm not leaning forward. I'm just setting that glass ball down or something that's very fragile and picking it up. Again, down and up. By now, you should be feeling your quads. Might be noticing that your heart rate's coming up. You might be noticing your breath pattern has gotten a little more rapid. That's a good thing. You're revving metabolism. Your core is tight. Nice. Now, if I want to challenge here, I set it down, but then I raise with the arms, still keeping my squat. Again, I set it down, press the buttocks back and down, and I raise. Again, bend through the knees. Keep the knees on top of the feet. Whew, should be feeling it. I know you're grateful for these. And lift. Nice. Last one comes down and back. Nice. Now I want you to lift through the left heel. So I'm shifting the weight to the right. I'm not leaning. I just shifted weight. Remember we talked about last night, paying attention to tension. I want tension in this right leg because I'm building muscle. And I want to pick up, if I can, my left leg. Now there's more tension because I've shifted all my weight. I'm keeping the knee on top of the foot. Maybe I can come to that piriformis squat, practicing balance. Breathe. Nice. Settle back down. Uttanasana, chair pose. Same thing on the opposite side. So I lift through my right heel. And remember, through any of these sequences, you can stop and start at any given time. So whatever's best for you. So I'm lifting through the right heel. I shifted weight to the left. So I feel the tension there. And that's a good thing. I'm going to pick up the right foot if I can. So now I'm using the core because I took off weight, tilting through the pelvic area, tightening through the core, keeping the left knee on top of the foot so I'm not leaning forward. Maybe I can come to that piriformis squat. Anytime you're making that number 4, you're stretching that piriformis. Rise and go. Your faith has made you well. Balance, such a tricky thing, huh? Okay, now I want you to pick up your right foot. And I want you to take a big step forward so that you keep your lunge. So I want the knee on top of the foot here. Sorry, kind of working against the sun here as the sun's pretty strong. So my right knee right on top of my foot. Now my back leg can be long or I can bend, driving that knee to the floor. If I'm doing that, that's quite a bit more challenging. Now, I want to think about picking up the foot instead of pushing off of it. So pick up and come to the right. Come to your side lunge. As I come to my side lunge, I'm bending through the right knee. I'm keeping the knee on top of the foot. I'm stretching through the left leg, stretching that adductor. Tension, I want to feel in the right leg. Again, keep that knee on top of the foot, so press the buttocks back and down. Maybe I'm hovering. This is more challenging. Maybe I'm resting. This is less. Maybe I want to come to a twist. Left arm down, right arm skyward. Don't lose the tension in your right foot. Push into that right foot. Breathe. Rise and go. Your faith has made you well. Luke 17, 19. Now I want you to pick back up. Remember, think of picking up. Pick up your right foot, come behind your left. Shift your weight. All the weight goes into the right foot. So I have no weight on that left heel. I've shifted back. I am flexing through the left foot and keeping that leg long, but I feel tension in that right leg. You're building muscle there. Let's do it all again. Pick up the right foot, come forward. Step, bend. Remember, I can keep that back leg long and rest a little, or I can bend through the knee. Your choice. Now come to the right. Pick up and place. Remember, in your side lunge, keep your 90-degree angle. Push the buttocks back, tighten through the core. Hover, rest, or twist. Breathe. Relax your head and neck. Pay attention to tension. The more you do that here, the more you'll do it later. And then you won't find yourself the next day with soreness where you've held tension somewhere where you didn't need to. Pick up the right foot right behind the left, shifting the weight all into the right. My core is tight. The more I drop my chest to my upper thigh on the left, the more I flex through my left foot, the more I work. So you should be feeling this right quad. Be grateful. And back. Woo-wee. Uttanasana, chair pose. Hands to heart center. Nice. Now I step with the left foot. Big step. Lift and place. Remember, I can bend and dip that back knee. Or I can lengthen out, taking a little rest. You choose. This is your practice. You're using big muscle groups. Should be giving a little bit more rapidness to your breath. Pick up the left foot. Come out to the left. In my side lunge, I want to extend that right leg out as much as I can because I want a good stretch in that adductor, my inner thigh. I can rest on the top of my left leg, or I can hover. Press the buttocks back, push into that left foot, maybe coming to your twist. Breathe. Rise and go. Your faith has made you well. Luke 17:19. Lift back up. Take the left foot behind the right. Shift the weight all to the left. Core is tight. Chest presses down. Flex through the right foot. Relax through your head and neck. Breathe. And then come forward. Lift in place. Should be feeling a little bit tired in the legs. Maybe driving that back knee down. Lift in place. Left foot to the left. Stretch through the right leg. Put tension into the left. Breathe. Maybe twist. Last time, shifting my left foot behind my right. All the weight in my left foot, flexing through my right, pressing my chest down. Breathe. And back. Uttanasana, chair pose. I know you love squats. I know you're grateful, but I think we're done. Bring those arms skyward. Nice. Moving to a sun salutation. We've had plenty of sun. Beautiful sun. Starting to sunset tonight. Right now, still pretty strong. Very grateful for the beautiful day that we've had. So we come to that sun salutation. Bring the arms skyward. What is it you're grateful for? Release the arms down. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins, your Ardha Uttanasana. Press the hands back down. Pick up your right knee, drive it into your chest, extend your right leg behind you, your runner's lunge. Now spin your right foot out so that the toes look at the long angle of the mat, and bring your left hand to the inside of your left leg. Bring your right hand to your hip and or skyward. So I came into that extended side angle, and I'm putting weight into that front foot, but I'm lengthening and pressing down on the whole foot on the back leg. My core is tight, my head and neck relaxed, extended side angle. Now from here, I want you to push from your left foot. Don't push off the hand. Don't use momentum, use muscle. Lift up. Warrior 2. Virabhadrasana 2. And then lift into your reverse warrior. Let's make this a flow. Inhale. Warrior 2. Exhale. Extended side angle. Inhale back, warrior 2. Exhale, reverse warrior. Again, inhale, Warrior two. Exhale. Extended side angle. Inhale. Warrior two. Exhale. Reverse. Warrior. Now I want you to flow from your reverse warrior back down to your extended side angle. Maybe you stay here for a moment. Maybe you challenge. Bringing the right arm behind your back. Bending through that front knee. Not so much that the knee goes past the foot. And then reaching the left arm up and underneath. We call this binding the posture. Just something kind of fun to do. You don't have to do it, but something kind of fun to try. Remember, you could have stayed in extended side angle. Nice. Release back, extended side angle. Relax the right arm down to the left. Find your lunge, spin through your back foot. Marry your left foot to your right. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So flow forward to your plank. Lift to your king cobra. Ease down to your baby cobra, Bhujang Asana. Now from your baby cobra, find your form. So my elbows are into the body, my head and neck is flat, there's no strain there, and my heart is lifted. Now, this is a back strengthener, so be mindful of any back issues. So little to no weight in my hands, elbows in, hugging the body, heart lifted. Baby cobra. Maybe I can challenge here, releasing my arms and bringing them back. Coming into Salabhasana, locust pose. So I can lift my legs if that feels okay with my back. And I can challenge even more by driving my hands inward so that the palms hover over the buttocks. Locust pose, Salabhasana. Rise and go, for your faith has made you well. Release. Hands under your shoulders, elbows in, curl to your toes, push to your plank, lift to your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take your right leg skyward, your right knee comes in, your right foot steps forward. Lift and place. Remember we said last night, you don't have to step it all the way into a 90-degree angle. Step it where you can and then make your 90-degree. I would rather you step and use muscle than throw the leg and use momentum. So spin through your back foot. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right leg and lift your left hand to your hip or skyward. You came right into, once again, that extended side angle on the opposite side now. So front knee is bent, knee on top of foot. And I'm dangling the right arm. The less weight I put into that, the more of the core I use. My core is tight. Extended side angle. Head is relaxed. And then I lift up. Warrior two. Remember your warrior two. Knee leaning to the pinky, not the big toe. Weight in both feet, core is tight. Extend with fingers, not with shoulders. Virabhadrasana 2. Reverse your palm, reverse your warrior. You can look down or you can look up. Just when you look behind you here, whether it's down or up, don't lose the bend in your leg. You want to keep tension here. Just don't bend so much that the knee goes past the foot. Now flow with me. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, extended side angle. Tight core, inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, extended side angle. Really bend, push into that foot, tighten through the core. Again, inhale, warrior 2. Exhaling, reverse, warrior. Ease back into your warrior two and gently come into your extended side angle, maybe to stay. And I neglected to say that you can always modify here by resting your arm on your leg. So remember, you can always make these postures less challenging or more. That's up to you. More challenging here would be to wrap my left arm around me. That's opening up the left side of my chest, bringing my right arm underneath, finding the posture. Just something fun again to do. You don't have to come there. This is not a perfect practice, guys. You know, it's not a place where we come to compete, even with ourselves. Just trying to be better, stronger. Release back. Extended side angle. And then release the left arm down, the right arm to the outside of the leg. You find yourself in your lunge again. I want you to step forward, not swing, but step. Lift and step. Uttanasana. Forward fold, you're slow. Reverse swan dive. And your hands travel to heart center. What are you grateful for? Who do you need to express gratitude to? Rise up and go. Your faith has made you well. Another sun salutation. As the sun sets, bring the arms skyward. Swan dive down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Your hands to your shins, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Your hands back down. Uttanasana, forward fold. It's your left knee now that travels to your chest and extends behind you into your runner's lunge. Find your 90 degree. Now from here, in your lunge, if you can, I want you to place your hands on your mat, shoulder width apart, and push into your right foot, lifting through the left leg. It doesn't matter how much. Maybe it's a little, maybe it's all the way up into your standing split. Feel that stretch in the right hamstring. And then lift through that left leg. Let your head and neck relax. Nice. Bend through that left leg, extend it back, come back into your lunge. Now I want you to take that right foot and wiggle it over to the left. You're coming into your pigeon pose. Now if you start to come into this and you think, this is not for me, a great modification here is to swing that left leg around and lay down on the mat and bring your right knee bent up. And so it's no different from being on top of the leg, it's just that the weight is not on the hip to open that hip up. So it's a great modification if you need to do that. Now if I like a bend in the back, I'm going to lift my heart. If I want a challenge, I'm going to bend through my elbows, because the more I take weight off, remember, the more I hover, the more my core has to take over. So this is more challenging. I can even really challenge by picking up one arm and one arm and then the other. But again, do what's best for your body. Pigeon pose, such a great hip opener. My hands are underneath my shoulders. I curl through my left toes and I lift that right bent leg up and I stretch it up into my three-legged dog, pressing my heel, my left hand heel down, raising, doing my right leg, maybe rotating through that ankle, and maybe even coming into the hip opener, bending through the right knee and turning the navel to the right of the room as I press the right sole of the foot to the left, opening that hip up. Modify as needed. You're looking up and underneath your right armpit. Your left shoulder softens. This is a great stretch of the hip flexor. Breathe. You're stretching that psoas and up into that oblique along the right side. All right, come back. Your three-legged dog, release back. Enter downward dog. Flow forward to a plank. Lift to a king cobra. Ease down. Baby cobra, Bujang Asana. From your baby cobra here, if you can, bend through one knee and then the other. Now maybe you stay right there. Maybe this is enough. Maybe you're able to reach back, reaching for the heel. Maybe you grab onto the heel. Maybe you're able to grab onto the whole foot. If you can grab onto the whole foot, pull the foot back, but at the same time, push the foot away, creating a bow in the back, hence bow pose, Dhanurasana. I always think of donning a bow, Dhanurasana. So my shoulder blades are reaching towards one another, such a great chest opener. Get a great stretch of the trunk of the body. My back is being strengthened, my head and neck relaxed. Bow pose, Dhanurasana. Coming back out, hands under shoulders. Baby cobra. Curl through your toes. Keep the elbows in, push to your plank. It's a push-up. Lift to your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. It's my left leg now that raises up, comes into the chest, steps forward, into my lunge. Remember, step where you can, then find your form. Finding your lunge. Now, I can stay right here. I can set the back leg down, or I can challenge here by lifting that right leg up into the sky, standing split, weight shifted to the left foot, obviously lifting through the right, rotating through that heel, that ankle. Breathe. Rise and go, for your faith has made you well. Luke 17:19. Bend through that right knee. Extend that leg behind you. Coming back down to your lunge. Wiggle your left foot now over to your right. So now it's pigeon on the left. Now maybe you came to this side and it feels much better than the other side. Oftentimes that happens. So, sometimes we find that one side feels really good and maybe one side doesn't. And all that means is one side felt really good and the other side doesn't. So you're just learning your body. Be easy on yourself. Don't be critical. You really start to enjoy this practice when you lose that negative competition, even with yourself. Just enjoy it. So this is your pigeon. Again, maybe I'm walking my fingertips back, creating that bend in the back. Maybe I'm coming forward, taking weight off, hovering, working against body weight. I can even come to my forearms and rest in my pigeon. I didn't talk about that earlier, but you could. So a lot of facets of your pigeon pose. Remember, you want to have that little bit of a bounce. So if you're off to the side and you don't have that bounce, you're not right on that hip, and we're trying to open that hip up. My hands are right underneath my shoulders. I curl through my right toes, and I draw that left leg up and back, extending it skyward into my three-legged dog. I press my right heel down, and here maybe I bend my left knee and turn the navel to the left now, looking up and underneath the left armpit, pressing the left sole of the foot to the right. Feeling that stretch now from the hip flexor all the way up into the oblique on the left. My right shoulder softens. Breathe. Such a great posture. And release. Nice. Set that left leg back down. Walk the feet to the hands. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Your slow reverse swan dive brings you up. Your hands travel to heart center. And once again, you consider, what am I grateful for? Who do I need to express gratitude to? So, balance. Something we've been practicing all along tonight, but always good to practice balance. None of us are too young or too old to practice balance. Something you should do every day. Remember, we talked about this last night. As we lift one leg up, we're training the brain, really. We're training the brain to have a new norm. So that every time you have to be here, it says, been there. I got this. Nice. So now I want to lift my knee, flexing through my foot. Now if that's too much, I can keep the toes to the floor. Remember, we talked with this is not a perfect practice. I want to tilt through my pelvic area, tighten through my core. Now I'm going to challenge you here. I want you to extend the leg out and set the foot down. Now if you're working on balance, make your gait a little wider, so maybe set it out to the left. If you really want to challenge, put it right in front of your right foot. And first your toes are on the mat, and your core gets tight, and your body is long and tall. And then shift the weight. Your whole body as one unit. So I'm not leaning the chest forward. My whole body came forward to push weight into that whole foot. And it's as if you're on a balance beam. So it should be pretty challenging. Move that foot forward, off the mat. If you have a spongy mat, move to your hardwood floor or to a less uneven surface. Okay, now I want to lift my back heel up. And I feel my quad come in. I feel the weight shift, my core tightens, still lifting through the heart here. And then start to lift through the back leg and bend from the hip flexors as I come down. Warrior 3. I can bring my arms behind me or in front. You choose. Virabhadrasana 3. Nice. Lift back up. Find your tree pose. Rikshasana. Your foot can rest wherever it wishes, just not on the kneecap. Remember, trees sway, so we can too. Rise and go. Your faith has made you well. Don't you want to be one of the one? We don't want to be one of the 9. We want to be that one that always expresses gratefulness. Same thing on the opposite side. Now I lift through my right foot. And maybe my toes stay close to the floor. Maybe the whole foot comes up. Maybe I can really work the core and raise the knee. Tilting through the pelvic area, tightening through the core. Then I extend the leg out. The higher I lift the leg, the more I'm working and strengthening that quad. Remember, I can keep that gate wide, or a little wider, or I can come right in front of the other on that balance beam. First, just the toes. Core tight, body long. Then the whole body shifts forward. So the body as a unit comes forward, push into the whole foot. So now it's as if, again, you're standing on that balance beam. And then you lift the back heel up. Again, body shifts together, forward. And you feel the muscles in the leg. So pay attention to tension. Notice the muscles you're using. Now I start to tighten through the core as I come forward, hinging from the hip flexors, lifting the back leg. Breathe. And we start to appreciate balance and be grateful for balance. Balance takes a lot of focus, a lot of strength, a lot of flexibility. Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. And then lift up, finding your tree pose. Maybe letting your branches grow. Hands to heart center. Rikshasana, tree pose, such a great posture. And relax. Time goes by so fast. Our Bible verse tonight, rise and go. Your faith has made you well. So come to the top of the mat. Bring the arms skyward, swan diving down, forward fold. Uttanasana. Bring your hands to your shins, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Press the hands back down. Set one knee down and then the other. Release the legs out from underneath you. Bring the feet out in front of you. Nice. Now I want you to make sure that you have your hands directly underneath your elbows underneath shoulders. So always stacking joint on top of joint. Because if my arms are way out here, I'm going to compromise something. When I'm not stacking joint on top of joint, something's going to be compromised. So here I want the weight to go right into my hand, especially when I put my feet hip width apart and I lift the buttocks up. Doesn't take much, barely lifting the buttocks up off the mat. Notice how your pelvic area naturally draws or tilts, your navel draws back to your spine, and that weight in your hands. Again, if you have wrist issues, you need to make a fist, you can. So modify as needed. Now to push into my feet and start to lift the buttocks up. And as I do, the more I lift the buttocks up, the more I feel the stretch in my bicep and my tricep. And I'm tightening through my core. Maybe I relax my head back. Maybe that's not an option. Remember, this is your practice. Now I want to ease the buttocks back down. Now I can stay right where I was, or I can make this a little more challenging for my triceps by bending through my elbows when I come down. Then come back up. Lift. Try to level out with the body if you can. Squeeze through the gluteus. Stretch, lengthen through the arms. Ease back. Maybe just to hover. Maybe to bend elbows. Draw the elbows in towards one another. You're going to feel this, and it's going to feel good tomorrow. You can be grateful for doing these. Lift up. Squeeze through the gluteus. Drop down. Maybe bend through the elbows. You can always rest the buttocks down if you need to. One more time. Lift, lengthen, stretch. Ease back down. Nice. Now scoot the buttocks towards the heels and relax the upper body down. If your heels aren't all the way up to the buttocks, walk them up that way. Now you're moving into bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. It's an inversion, and in all inversions we are always careful for that cervical spine. So I want to always keep my gaze to the ceiling. I never want to look from side to side. So keep your gaze to the ceiling, have your arms alongside your body, your palms facing the floor. Again, walk your heels up to your buttocks. Your knees are hip width apart, and again, I push into the feet and I'm lifting the buttocks up again. So I'm trying to form a straight line from my knees to my hips to my shoulders, but do the best you can. This is Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. I'm squeezing through the gluteus, I'm lengthening through the trunk of the body, my navel is drawn back to my spine. And if I want a challenge here, I can come up onto the balls of my feet, lifting my heels up. Remember, we talked about tension. So we're creating a little more tension in the glutes and in the legs here. Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. Nice total extension of the spine. And then slowly allow the buttocks to just come on back down to the floor. And then the opposite. I draw one knee in and then the other, and I grab onto, maybe crisscross through the ankles, hugging through the knees. Now it's a full flexion of the spine. Maybe bringing my nose up to my knees, maybe not. Maybe I've kept my lower or my upper body back onto the mat. So remember, this is your practice. Make it yours. Relax the upper body back down. Open the arms into T position. And slowly bring those bent knees to the left as your gaze travels to the right. So the same thing we did at the beginning of class, our Ardha Matsyendrasana, our half spinal twist. It's just that now that we're reclining. The twists are so wonderful, not like we said earlier, not just for the vertebra and the skeletal system, but you're actually manipulating the digestive system. So this is a good thing to create movement. Actually, during this little bit of time that hopefully you've been having fun and enjoying this practice and learning about your body, you've also done a lot of beneficial things for your body. You've strengthened your immune system. It's gone all the way to the cellular level. Pick up your knees and allow them to flow over to the right as your gaze floats to the left now. Actually, there's research in the past several years that has shown that just 1 or 2 times per week of practicing yoga helps you to balance out your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So you're helping your body know how to go from that fight or flight response back down to a normal response, which is huge. We don't want those cortisol levels, those hormones, to continue raging. When we've come down, or we think we've come down, we want the whole body to come down and relax. So yoga helps us do this. Lift the knees back up. Give your knees one more hug once again. Hope it's not your last hug today. Nice. Now open up your legs and bring your arms to the inside. Grab onto your shins, your ankles, or your big toe. And bring the legs into a 90-degree angle. You came to happy baby or dead bug. This is a very freeing posture. Great for the pelvic area, great for the back. So you just kind of allow the body to rock back and forth. Nice. Now, grab onto the shins or the ankles and draw the soles of the feet together. Let the knees flare out. A good stretch of your adductors, your inner thighs here with your reclining cobbler or butterfly pose. Nice. Bring the knees back together. Grab onto your right knee. Extend and lengthen through your left. Maybe bringing your nose up to your knee if that feels good. But if it doesn't, just relax back down. Remember our Bible verse. Luke 17:19. Rise up and go. Your faith has made you well. Alternate. Hug onto your left knee. Extend and lengthen to your right. And then release. Allow your body to just relax and find rest. Shavasana, Yoga Nidra, deep relaxation. So many terms for one meaning. Rest. Rest. Not just of the physical body, but the mental, the emotional, even the spiritual sides of your body. So allow yourself just to be. Take in your next deep, slow breath. And as you let go of that breath, think of yourself letting go of all those things you're holding on to. Start to bring movement back into the body. Wiggle, turn, bend, lift. And as you do this, be grateful. Maybe expressing gratefulness to God here. Thank you, God, for allowing me to move. Thank you for allowing me to be able to practice, to tell a hand to make a fist, or to hold a loved one's hand, to tell a foot to step out and move forward, and it does. These things that we have, that we do every day, and sometimes we don't express gratitude for them. Whenever you're ready, rotate onto one side or the other. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, push with the opposite arm and bring yourself up to that seated position. Your hands at heart center. Always remember, you're on the same mat, you're in the same place, you're in the same position, but you're not the same. Through God's grace, you're able to start all over again. And we should be grateful for that. We have a new chance every moment of every day to start all over. No matter what you've done, no matter what you haven't done, it can be forgiven just by asking God to take it from you. So I challenge you here, if you don't know the Lord, to offer your life to Him. It can come with a simple prayer. All you have to say is, God, I need you in my life. I want to try to have you in my life. Just come in my life and show me how you can make it better. I promise you that you will feel a peace, and you will feel strength, and you will feel love like you've never known. As we bring our hands to heart center, we usually state that simple salutation, namaste. It simply means the light and life in me honors and respects the light and life in you. In our Christian life, we believe that light to be Jesus Christ. I hope you felt the warmth of his presence, and I hope you go out now and shine that light onto those who are in darkness. Go out and express gratitude. Express love. Be the Jesus that someone has never known. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing tonight with me once again. Let me take this time to tell you that I'm so grateful for you, for all of you, as friends that I've had forever, as new friends, as supporters of this class. I'm just so very grateful for you. And so I hope you enjoyed the class. We'll be back tomorrow night. Remember, tomorrow night's Wednesday night class starts at 5:15. We'll see you soon. Namaste.